how quickly he can play piano just by how quickly he can input on his keyboard. Let's see if he really is a maestro as far as that is concerned. But here we go. The attack is going to start coming out here from the side of Norway, with Hong Kong already operating over onto that defense. Start them pushing in, poking out so far. Nothing too crazy as far as the comps are concerned. It's going to be the 2-2-2, both of these operating with the Soldier and the Tracer, so no Genji thus far.
Yep, nothing just thus far, but already a kill into Envision. That's going to be a great start here for Hong Kong's defense.
Yeah, Mango up here on this high ground, just finding that biotic grenade straight in onto Envision, so shuts him down, stops, very crucially, that pulse bomb building up, and as I say that, IPN's going to find a kill over onto Hyper, so both of these Tracers will be stopped down. Hyper building up a bit more of that pulse bomb for himself, but now here we go, onto the meat of the point. Comes Norway diving in, only got having to throw down that biotic field, trying to keep himself alive, and Deathadder goes for it, finds Jazzy, pops him out of the back, and the Helix Rockets will go ahead and finish him off. A bit of a changing back here coming through as IPN does fall, but Norway very broadly winning out on these fights and maintaining the hold on the point. The cap might just come through right here, and it looks like that's just going to be it, so Hong Kong will concede, and Norway pick up point A very quickly.
And if you watch that fight, you might think, okay, well, Onigod is just the god. He's so strong, he's so powerful, his accuracy is so good, but it's the protection granted by Aiko that actually allows this to happen. His defense matrix really good there, and Deathadder, of course, tried to disrupt the backlines of Hong Kong, so he was able to do so much free damage to carry that fight.
Very nice stuff here from Norway. We'll see how they're going to handle the street space as they get ready to push through. Hong Kong still playing a bit further forward, looking for those flanking opportunities with the like of Hyper and the Soldier 76 here, but now Deathadder going very far forward, trying to build up for that primal rage, just zapping away. No real kill threat coming through from him yet. And now he's got to be a bit careful as that nano boost does come down here onto Pandaren, but he takes so much damage, has to leap back around the corner to keep himself alive. In the meantime, Norway going to be pushing back forward. Have that Transcendence coming through from IPN, and they will find Pandaren in the end as the cart just keeps moving along steadily, slowly, but steady for the side of Norway as they keep advancing over to point B. Pop-out's going to come through on to a Jazzy. Does throw down the self-destruct, not going to find anything, and he's going to die for that. So Hong Kong really just kind of getting swept under the rug by Norway right now. Not really being impeded at all on this push.
Not even close. The staggered respawn's going to be a problem here. And it looked like the idea for Hong Kong for that defense was to have Hyper drop down with the pulse bomb from the high ground there. Tried to build up, didn't have it in time. The Transcendent was so well played.
IPN perfectly just knew that Hyper was coming around that flank, maybe even looking for the pulse bomb there. Takes him down. That's point B gained here for Norway. Just under 6 minutes on the clock to make their way to the Foundry stage here. So plenty of time to work with. Nice little opening there does come through as the Helix Rockets connect onto Onigod. So that will help them a little bit, but that's about the slightest reprieve that Hong Kong has gotten so far.
We're looking to see if Hyper can finally find a pulse bomb stick here. One does fail against him, but he's going to look to find this in the back. This has kind of been the idea for Hyper, is to try to find that backline pick. Not a whole lot of harassment.
You can see he's just not really in a great position to get those flanking opportunities. He has to keep kiting back, and now the self-destruct does find Mango. Get the pop-up onto Jazzy, and yet again, he is going to fall. The tanky front line here from Hong Kong just being shattered. Discord Orb in onto Pandaren, has to stay back, has to drop the bubble. Can't leap in now comfortably. IPN does get forced out on the Transcendence as the pulse bomb comes through from Hyper, but the payload just meters in front of this point C, and with that primal rage, Deathadder goes forward, finishes off Mango. Pandaren has fallen off the map, moving desperately, trying to find something with that nano visor. Will get the pop out, will finish off IPN, but he is still losing team members around him. Hyper going down as Onigod answers with his own, firing away shot after shot, rolling into the station. Just 1.47 meters now is that payload for Norway. Nearly have that completion, just need to get rid of these few members, and with that pulse bomb helping take down the Winston, they might just have it. Mix desperately trying to keep this one in contention, and they will be able to do so for now. So it seems like Hong Kong might just be able to hold on for a little bit longer, but they're still over 4 minutes on the clock here for Norway.
Yeah, still trying to hold on to this one. It's actually crazy. Aiko is able to remech throughout this. Here comes the self-destruct down. Envision will dodge it. And you can see Envision, gets taken out. Mango gets the kill there. This actually may help them grab the hold here as Jazzy remains on the point.
But it's just an all-out brawl because Norway just keeps throwing their bodies back in onto the payload, trying to keep this one pushing in. Now the rejoin coming through from Deathadder, jumping forward. They find Pandaren to start off the fight. Just need Jazzy, and that's going to be the entire tank line taken down. Now the Genji, having fallen self-destruct, though not going to find any picks, but does help zone people back. They'll get the re-entry in onto the back, but now the sound barrier is in here for Norway. They are all in on this push. They want to finish it off with a massive time bank for themselves. Pandaren up into the air, popping the primal rage, and the Transcendence coming through. So Hong Kong throwing out everything that they possibly have to try to stay into this one, but Jazzy will still get taken down by the pulse bomb, and Onigod is firing away with yet another tag visor. Finds the Genji, just chipping them away, and that will finally be it. They free up enough space to get those that last meter and a half in, and it's 3:27 on the time bank here for Norway.
And you got to give props to Hong Kong for how long they were able to hold that off. They, with the staggered respawn, still bought so much time there, but it was the consistent kills coming in that closed it out for Norway. But I have to give big credit to Deathadder. It almost felt like he was the personal bodyguard of Onigod in all those fights, and I have the liberty of being able to watch his first-person view here, so I was watching how he was positioning, how he wants to protect Onigod, and basically he only dove in after they got a pick, sometimes on the D.Va there, allowing him to come in with more protection from his own team to go in and get those kills. And Onigod being the big damage dealer here, basically what happened, no one could take him out. He just kept firing, getting multiple attack fires off. The Transcendence build-up's much faster here for Norway as well. And you do have to remember a lot of what Hyper was trying to do on that Tracer. He held onto his pulse bombs really long. He was always looking for the big money hit on the back line, on the squishies, but just couldn't find the supports, couldn't find that pulse bomb he was looking for. So it felt like he was really trying to force it to happen, but just didn't find that lineup.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's one of the tooltips in the game. Not for Tracer, but I believe for Ferris. Is, you know, don't try to hold on for the barrage to find the big one. You know, just use it, build up another one very quickly. But, you know, that's one of the things that, you know, a lot of players do suffer from. They want to have that big bang hit. With the pulse bomb, try to get the 2 to 3K like we see from Effect back over in Apex for Envious when he had those, you know, really star-studded performances on the Tracer. But, you know, he holds onto it a bit too much, can't find those flanking opportunities, just has to kite back with the rest of his team, and that's not the position that you need to be in as a Tracer to excel. So Norway with a very strong first attack, 3:27 on the clock. Hong Kong now swapping over to the assault side. We'll see what sort of work they can get done. Norway still going to be operating with the same squad here, the 2-2-2. I go back over onto that D.Va. Flash Lazaria for a second, but, you know, better than that. It's still going to be the D.Va coming through. She's just way too important.
And let's see if Hyper is going to stick with this Widowmaker for very long. We do see the sound arrow come out first here to get the information as to where everyone is positioned.
I'm trying to spot out a little bit.
Yeah, not good. Just getting some extra vision. You're not going to be trying to do any fancy Widow plays. Not pulling a Taimo here or anything like that. Just going to come out. It's Hyper switching back to the Soldier now here on the high ground.
I mean, interestingly enough, they're going to be running the Soldier with the Genji rather than having a Tracer, which has been, you know, one of those staple parts of compositions in the current meta at the moment. So we'll be trying to change things up here from Hong Kong. We'll see how long this is going to last, if they're going to be able to get that first cap, or if they do need to swap Hyper back over. But for now, Onigod will get taken down. Mango finds that opening, and is that going to be enough for them to get onto the point is the question. Cap starts to come through, does get halted out as they back out, and Vision does take down that enemy Zenyatta. Hyper firing away, trying to get in onto Deathadder, and with the help of the Genji, they will be able to take him down, and Vision forced out. Retreats back over to the hotel, gets up, picks up that health pack, and will be rejoining the fight. 70% here for that pulse bomb. Could be a game breaker for Norway if he can find some key targets to place that one on, but for now he doesn't even need it, just dashes forward and finishes off Pandora.
And when you look at what Hyper's able to do compared to Onigod, it's just no comparison. Onigod's been able to do so much more, and that's part of it because Deathadder has been babysitting him, forcing him back. When you see the first person views, you can see he's forced back, has to retreat. The defense matrix goes off, he comes back in. That's when you see Deathadder come in, deny him with the barrier. It's just been so frustrating for Hyper all game long. He does have the attack visor now. If he can get into a high ground position, maybe he can start to get some picks here. But that's the only ult they've got. Dragon Blade about to be ready, but no support ultimate with it.
But is that going to be enough? Because right now they've still just been pretty stalemated to try to get on to this point. See them just trying to poke out, but getting the kills on the Norway end range is just going to be so difficult with Mix going down there. Mango falling off screen as IPN wins out on that Zenyatta duel. No supports available now for Hong Kong. They're going to have to wait to regroup, but that just buys more time off the time bank. They do go forward though. However, find Trope and IPN, so these are going to be the counter openings. But Norway does fire back. Hyper going down. Jazzy popped out of the mech and Pandora falling as well. They will finish off that baby D.Va for the maximum stagger.
Okay, so Lewis still has the Dragon Blade available here. They have the support ultimates, but here comes the self-destruct. Taken out of the mech, actually, as Aiko, as he dropped it down here. This is a huge opportunity, but here comes the Transcendence.
Yeah, double Transcendence coming through from both the Zenyatas as everybody tries to posture it onto the point. Sound barrier from both teams as well. So all of them just dumping out every support ultimate that they could possibly find. And finally, it will be that first hit coming through for Hong Kong. Can they stick in and get the actual cap with those picks coming through? It seems like the answer should be yes, but there's still plenty of time that can be bought by Deathadder. Gonna go low, has a primal rage available. Does he want to commit it to this fight? The answer is going to be yes. Pops that one out, has the Discord Orb, so we'll be taking quite a bit of damage as that second tick comes through onto the point here for Hong Kong, but the cap still being delayed further and further as we are encroaching on a minute remaining.
Yeah, now everyone's respawned back in Vision very low. We'll have to recall here, but they do get everyone back. Deathadder buying so much time here, and this may still be the hold. Incredible time buying by Deathadder here from Norway.
Both Winston's going down, Mix is going to fall as well, but it's just going to be an exchange of the supports as IPN falls. Trope falling now as well, also Hong Kong. Do they finally have the upper hand? And Vision is looking to shut that out. Has to be forced into the recall to keep himself alive. Doesn't have any healers available for him. He's poking in, trying to finish off Mango, and he gets him, just bending the bullet seemingly around Pandaren, takes him out, and yet again Hong Kong will be held at bay. Norway able to regroup. 2 ticks accrued, but just 40 seconds remaining in Hong Kong. Have to go all the way to point C.
I can't even believe that was able to occur. What we saw from DCOD there, he bought so much time. No one got onto the point when he stepped off. It bought enough time for the rest of the team to come back. Aiko buying so much time as well. Really good coordination here. And I mean, this is just so little time left now for Hong Kong to work with. They have the Dragon Blade. They're going to have Transcendence. Here we go. It's going to be both of them.
Yeah, popping this one out, just trying to withstand that Dragon Blade. It looks like they will be able to do so. In the meantime, Oni got on the high ground yet again, has attack visor out, takes down Hyper. Everybody else just bending back around the statue, but there's no time left on the clock. 5 seconds. They have to pile into this one. And Vision throwing in the pulse bomb. Not going to find any kills, but they're still held at bay. Knocks Jazzy out of the mech. In hindsight, does find that, but now it's all or nothing here for Hong Kong to win this first map. Diving in, they lose to Genji. Trope his fault. They get rid of IPN. Could this be the opening? No supports available for the side of Norway, but they still need so much more. Aiko falling, they lose out onto Mango. Mix going down as well. Norway, can they do this? They have to get through the primal Winston Pandaren as they just jump around. Overtime still ticking in the cap, getting ready to come through as Pandaren desperately tries to make this happen for his team, but DCOD does get that sound barrier. He is still alive and he is still killing Genjis.
We'll finally get pushed away here though. Jazzy getting up the picks here. DCOD's still alive. That's so important. He's the best one to buy time.
That's going to be the last second contest coming through. Jazzy knocked out of the mech yet again as Norway wants to finish this one off. Pandaren going down. Jazzy killed in the Baby Diva form, and the pulse bomb connects in onto Hyper, and it looks like Norway will have done it. The full hold coming through onto point A after pushing all the way to C. We talked about how scrappy this series could very well be, and I think that we found that it's going to be very scrappy indeed. Kings Row, so much back and forth there.
Yeah, and what we saw there was just excellent staggering there of the ultimates to actually buy time. The remeching coming out from Aiko, the really amazing primal rages. The fact that DCOD was able to stay alive so many times got him those extra primal rages, and it looked like several times there Hong Kong had it, but they just couldn't actually hold on. As we see, Envision's Tracer here going to be the play of the game to seal things out on their attack, but what a hold there. And we had questions going into this one, which one of these very close seeds was going to be playing the soldier. Definitely was, you know, you could see the idea in theory, but just doesn't allow the same sort of mobility, and that ended up being a problem. So as we go into this one, we'll see what they're running. Mango actually on the Sombra here, so he got a few picks onto Envision himself there on the support. Now he's playing more of the hybrid DPS here. We'll see if he can make that happen yet again.
Okay, well that just puts that much more emphasis on Mix. Has to have his positioning very well for that Lucio, but Mango is already going to get taken down. The fight coming through from Envision around the side over onto that walkway does finish him off. So first point now going to be unlocked. Hong Kong do have the fast track. They're already onto it at the moment, but Norway, they're going to be looking to change that one around as they dive in onto that high ground, just trying to disrupt everybody. And now that Hong Kong is contained outside, that will just allow for the remaining members of Norway to kind of have those leaps to get onto the high ground to go ahead and finish off that cap. So we'll start ticking up.
Yeah, and this is that first cap I'm talking about. Hyper will just get killed here as they look for the resets, but Norway now has that ult advantage. They have that ticking control meter, and Hong Kong's would have to retake this, a very difficult ask, but they do have the tool of the EMP. Builds very quickly, and Mango is going to have that soon. Wants to make sure he doesn't get picked off again. Would be ready for sure if he had not been killed by Envision earlier.
Oh, that's going to be the Tracer going down. IPN yet again finding another kill with the Zenyatta has been deadly accurate with his orb tossing those ones out. Mango has that EMP ready to go, but does he want to dive in? Doesn't actually get the opportunity, just gets taken down as Envision finds a double kill. Pulse bomb in onto Mix, finishing him off. We'll go ahead, get the 3K as Pandaren goes down as well, and Norway shoving them all the way back to that initial choke point by this spawn, and they'll just be holding firm.
And this is okay that the EMP didn't go off, because now they're going to have a few more ults to use with it, notably that tack visor, but it's going to be all about IPN's Transcendence. He can get it off before the EMP goes down. That is going to be huge. Here comes Mango around from the back. Will they react to this? IPN drops the
Transcendence comes through perfectly timed by IPN. Picks it up, and Mango's going to be the first one to fall as the fight breaks out. Only got with his own tack visor, firing away, but Jazzy does have the defense matrix, but not well enough in front of Hyper to keep him alive. Will go down, and Norway is just going to scoop up everybody and throw them into the bin. Fantastic shutdown, fantastic reaction.
And that's what you've got to do as IPN here. You have to react. You have to see that Sombra running at you with the translocator. You have to have that ability to know this is when the EMP is coming. and drop that out first to completely nullify the effects there with your extra healing. Very well timed. And they didn't use much else. Trobe still has the sound barrier. Vision and Aiko have their ultimates ready here.
Yeah, they nearly have a self-destruct on the way as well here for Aiko, so things looking really good for Norway as they tick up past 90% of the moment. Hong Kong likely going to have to dump everything in just to get this cap, and Vision not going to be finding the stick there with that pulse bomb, so won't find any entry frags for his squad yet. But now the sound barrier is coming down as they try to go ahead and keep this one contested. Nearly the cap there for Hong Kong. Will now be over into overtime as Norway tries to maintain control. A self-destruct thrown out here by Jazzy, just trying to buy a bit of zone for his squad, but actually comes up with a lot more than that, finds the kill in onto Trobe, but they get answered back for as Mango and Hyper both go down, and Vision yet again operating on these flank lines. Nearly has another pulse bomb to offer up, perhaps to take down Pandaren, because he doesn't have
there's the recap.
Primal range, and the recap does come through. Now they have to tag in onto this one. We'll see if Pandaren can find his way in, but
can't
actually
get in there.
Just not going to happen.
All right, so this is already dominance starting to show. We knew what was likely to occur on control after we saw the defense of Norway there on King's Row. They got the full hold, and when they took the first point here, sure, there was a brief moment of capture on the side of Hong Kong here, but they couldn't close it out, and the ultimate usage there, very well timed. I feel like the big play, the play of the game for that one was definitely IPN, dropping the Transcendence down, nullifying the real only EMP we ever saw, and I worry now for Hong Kong as they're flexing a lot here. They're sending their Genji player onto the Tracer, their Tracer player onto the Soldier, so not having real complete roles here, whereas Norway is basically keeping it more of the same from map to map.
Well, you saw there in the audience, Onigod having a fan here in Shanghai. That's a nice way to go ahead, start things off with a win for the fans.
That's right, this is the World Cup, and every nation has fans worldwide as we head into this one. Going to be no Sombra this time on Mango, going to be back onto the Soldier.
Yeah, but it's going to be that Genji Soldier here that they're trying to operate on yet again, and Mix is going to be the first one that loses out as that mech does go away from him, builds up very rapidly for another one that hasn't gotten taken out of that Baby Diva form yet. Aiko going to get popped out as well as we wait for the point to unlock. So very scrappy, everybody's charging in for each other's bridges.
Now, Mu actually finding a lot of percentage here. No one harassing him, so he's just building up towards that Dragon Blade. We'll have the double support ultimates to pair with that very soon.
The initial cap nearly coming through, and Vision already has the pulse pump, throws it out, finds Pandaren, takes him down, and that's going to be Mango falling as well. Mix going to go down, and it seems like Norway will yet again be getting this, the first cap coming through. We'll see how long they can hold on to it this time. It was only one flip for Hong Kong.
And it wasn't a crazy disparity of ult economy here. There are going to be several ults, including that sound barrier for Mu to try to use the Dragon Blade here. Hyper, unfortunately, halfway towards his Primal Rage as he's flexing again. Now onto the Winston, it's Pandaren onto the Lucio. And this can sometimes be a double sword. You can show the flexibility of this composition, the six-man roster, but maybe too many heroes for too many players.
All right, well, it's going to be a very aggressive play coming through as Norway just pushes through the Transcendence out from IPN as they try to shove them all the way back, just keeping them contained in the side rooms. And Onigod has that Tac Visor firing away, just straight out. No one there to block him, but will get cut down in the end. As Genji has the Dragon Blade ready to go, so just chops him up.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a big flip here for Hong Kong, perhaps. Haven't gotten the point yet, as D-God will fall in the end. They will get this one, and considerably earlier than on Control Center, 41%, all that was accrued here for Norway before that flip comes through. So maybe a bit too aggressive from Norway on that play.
Onigod definitely, using that Tac Visor there, expecting the Transcendence would be enough, but this is a huge flip because they only had to use really the Dragon Blade and the support ultimates to make it happen. Hyper soon to have that Primal Rage, so they can hold on to this one for a while, almost nearly having an edge in ult economy here, so Norway using a lot of resources. But look at how quickly IPN's been able to build up that Transcendence, and they're going to use the sound barrier to try to contest now, moving in.
Yeah, go ahead, throw that one out, but Onigod's been booped off the map by Pandaren, so just comes up with that kill, so fantastic way to start things off here for Hong Kong as they try to maintain this control over the point, but Jazzy is just going to get cleaned up, in Norway yet again will still just, despite being first blooded by Hong Kong on that push, will still be able to get in here and possibly come up with this retake. And
it was really off the back of the sound barrier. It was really well timed here. They used it with the amp it up for the speed boost, so a really hyper aggressive attack coming in, catching Hong Kong off guard, and now they have self-destruct. They're going to use it aggressively here over the wall.
It's throwing it straight in towards the spawn. Not going to find anybody, but it certainly does buy them a little bit more time, keeping them away from
aggressive, though.
The bridge. But yeah, just throwing that one, Aiko. Aiko, you never know. Maybe you get the 5K. Maybe you just go ahead and get a team kill on it. So
sure, that was pretty aggressive, but they do hold on to the Transcendence here now. So using the support ultimates as their main ones to win these fights.
But they have to get back in. They have to get this retake. Pulse Bomb does come through, connects in onto Hyper, and he's going to be taken out first and foremost here on the point. Didn't have that Primal Rage available. Nowhere near it, in fact. And now Norway still looking to hold firmly as that Transcendence comes out from the side of IPN, just keeping everybody topped off. Decon with that Primal Rage, keeping himself alive as well. And now Attack Visor out from Mango, but he's falling dangerously low, and everybody just pours back in into the room with him to go ahead and finish him off. He goes down, and now seems like it's just going to be yet another regroup coming through here from Hong Kong, but the Staggers are going to be there on the respawns. It's 95% for Norway. They have to get in onto the point.
Yeah, they do. Okay, Hong Kong coming in now. Gonna have to contest this.
But already Mix has been popped out, and Attack Visor here just go ahead and take out anybody that pushes forward. There's no Demon Defense Matrix to eat up this soldier damage, so OniGod just going to be firing away, coming up with multiple kills, finishes off the Genji right at the end.
Sound barrier
there you go. Norway will just clean house, and they will go ahead and take Lijiang Tower with a 2-0.
Yeah.
We'll just be starting things off here.
Oh, already mixed with the Torbjorn.
Yeah, Norway going to be looking to push into this one, and Mix does have that Torbjorn ready to go Hyper over onto this Orisa, so yet again going to be trying some things that are a bit different.
Yeah, we've seen Reaper and has been very popular on this map because of the narrow choke points and very good protection here onto the turret. We'll see how Norway decides to break this. Eco is going to look for the wraparound here. Unfortunately, able to find nothing. Obviously, the first part of dealing with this is scouting it out. They know what to do now that they've seen it.
Well, Mango as well, getting poked down here, is operating over onto that Reaper, much like we saw on Dead from China earlier on. Mix gonna get left on, almost goes down, but all of a sudden the kills just explode onto the board here for Norway. Scooping up several, Ico finding some here with the Genji, the double dash through, takes him down. The turret will fall here for Pandaren, or the mech will fall for Pandaren. Turret about to go down here at the end. Well, and that should just be the first cap coming through for Norway very swiftly to give them, you know, just about 7 minutes on the clock.
It's pretty rare to see the turret be the last part of the deaths.
That's
on
very
the side.
true. It's usually like very swift.
And I think that part of the problem was they chose a location to defend where the protection from Orisa was only there for the turret. There was a lot of AoE damage that could be done for Decod there in that choke point, and they didn't need to kill the turret first, they just killed everybody else. Pretty basic there. And now they're looking for the second cap. They've got a lot of ults available here.
Well, that is going to be one of them. The Molten Core here from Mix does get thrown down, trying to buy a little bit of time, but it loses out on all of his team members here yet again. So Mix is going to go ahead and have to kite back over to the spawn to get topped up. Now Ico up onto the high ground, has the Dragon Blade ready to go, but doesn't have to use it. And that first stick is already coming through here for Norway.
Oh,
looking
man.
for a bit more, nearly half the second. You can see Decod does go down.
Sound barrier here. It looks like almost a ceremony. Here's the Dragon Blade. Eco doesn't have much shielding with this.
Yeah, but he's still going to be cutting away. Gets that mech gone. Dashes through. Finds Mango yet again. And you can see that that should just be it. Just about here. Final contention will come through from Jazzy and Mix. The Nano Lucio coming through. Move out of the way, boys. Those boops got some real damage to him, but Mix's life, he's not long for this world. He is desperately trying to keep himself topped off. Has to kite back. There's no health pack available, so he will get cut down in the end by Decod going forward. But it has delayed the cap so far from Norway. Drains out a little bit more time on that clock, but there's still over 5 minutes.
Definitely some sloppy ult uses on the side of Norway. I think perhaps ceremony, an early ceremony for them, but this is still a continued push for them. Really good biotic grenade here, but it may just not matter. Vision holding on to that pulse bomb.
He's trying to get rid of this Primal Rage first. Will kite back, picks up that health pack, and the hold does come through here for Hong Kong, so it does buy them a little bit more time where it seemed like they were doomed, and Vision just gonna go forward, lets himself die. Well, plenty of time on the clock, still have, you know, a smattering of ultimates available here for Norway in the second tick, so getting a cap might not be that difficult from them.
True.
But Hong Kong for now will hold.
The true hero is the Nano boost on the Lucio there, and that's what allowed them to hold, right? We gotta give full credit, but God, I feel like Norway looks so terrifying right now. I feel like they celebrated early on that last push. That was setting up for the big six, the 6 ultimate push. IPN very far away from a Transcendence. He feels like the Tracer killer with this triple DPS. Perhaps you could almost call it quad DPS, for how many times he's been able to track down whichever Tracer he's up against with the swaps coming off here for Hong Kong. But he's just looking dominant.
Oh, Mango going low, forces out the recall, has to dash back, keeps himself alive in the meantime. Self-destruct will come through. Not going to find anything so far, but the attack visor is there from OniGod, and that could do some serious work. But the defense matrix is there. Pulse bomb coming down, not going to find a stick, but they still are able to follow up and take down IPN in the end. Moo gets taken out by that Jack Visor, and now the kills yet again coming through here for Norway as the rest of the team, everybody just focusing in onto that choke, onto that Jack Visor. The rest of the team just goes forward. They find all these kills, but Jazzy comes up with the double. Bionic Grenade takes out Decon, and Vision goes down as well, but still, it's very close to the cap coming through for the side of Norway. Aiko with that Dragon Blade comes up with 2 kills already, just dashing his way to victory, but will get jumped on, will go down in the end, and it seems like yet again, Hong Kong will be able to maintain control, and this is what we're talking about, the difficulty of capping this final point.
Yeah, and again, it just feels like some of what we're seeing from Norway is very scrappy. IPN didn't have the Transcendence there, which would have definitely made that fight a lot easier, and sure, Onigod did a ton because Decod really helped him out, but they don't have the Diva with this triple DPS composition, so can't have that extra protection. Trobe didn't have his sound barrier, and it felt like they were a little bit impatient, didn't wait for the 6 to go in, and it was a little bit split up. Hong Kong always having a better position on defense here with that high ground.
Yeah, we can hear that's going to be the Nano boost coming through. Haven't really spotted who is going to be on it. Will be, in fact, onto Hyper, who does have a Primal Rage ready to go, but for now, just going to be zapping away. Trying to come up with a couple kills. It seems like they will go ahead and dissuade Norway from coming in for now, as Pandaren does get knocked out of the mech, but Decod will fall as Mix, of all people, does come up with that one. Now Envision going low, forces Mango out with a recall. He's going to push forward, looking for a bit of healing perhaps from his teammates, trying to get that kill in the Tracer battle, but now getting jumped on. Throws at the pulse pump, tries to get the fadeaway turnaround in onto Hyper, but he will whip that one out. So not going to be finding any kills with that. But in the meantime, Transcendence thrown down here from IPN. They try to stick in onto this fight, trying to get this final cap because the clock has been drained considerably.
Yeah, they already have 2 ticks.
Side of Hong Kong.
They already have 2 ticks, so it's not that difficult to grab, but they just need to get consistent kills, something they haven't been able to do yet. There's the pick on the Hyper. That's going to be a huge time buyer lost.
A nice one coming through here. Pandaren yet again knocked out of the mech, so that's going to be the tanky front line from Hong Kong nullified as he desperately tries to get back into the mech, but he's just going to get cut down on the backside of the fight. Strobe comes up with that kill, just zipping away with those left clicks, comes up to this one, but now 2 minutes still on the clock, and Norway haven't really gained much ground. A few respawns coming through from them. Envision does finish off Hyper, but very much are being stopped here at point B.
And part of the reason why this is so difficult is because the defender always has the shorter run back, and Hong Kong is going to have the high ground set up to drop down every time with how this map works. Yeah, Pandaren up here already showcasing why. Just up there, able to drop down. It's difficult to stop the to stop the drop down. There's nothing you can do as the attacker. The defender always has that extra advantage. So you need to get a massive amount of kills and carry that momentum. And Hong Kong has the ult advantage still. So Norway, that time is ticking down.
Well, now it's an Nano boost in onto the Dragon Blade. Move pushing forward, looking for some kills, trying to get in onto the support members. Can't quite find it though. Has to go ahead and sheath it, but still just chucking out these shurikens, trying to find some poke out kills. If not, just finish off IPN. Does have those shields coming through, does get topped off. In the meantime, both the tanks going down yet again for the side of Hong Kong, but is it going to be able to be capitalized on is the question. With Envision going down, perhaps the answer is going to be no yet again. Move still firing away into this one, will get taken down. The zaps coming through, and Onigod finds the hits. Cap is still being contested, so Norway still struggling, and there's just a minute left on the clock at this point. They've been drained down so much. Onigod going to fall as Hyper goes forward, smacks him down with the melee hits. Just an all-out brawl in onto the point. They will finally get it in the end. Hong Kong not quite paying attention closely enough to get that, to keep that in contention. So the cap does come through, but 56 seconds, all that was remaining for Norway at the end.
And I feel like what to take away from this particular map, or this round I should really say, is that this is the 6-man lineup I want to see. I want to see Jazzy on the Ana. The Ana play we saw from Jazzy was really good. Moo on the Genji. This looks to be the stronger composition, with Hyper actually showcasing his Winston skills there. So this is the 6-man roster I want to see for most of the rest of this map, and then of course going into our escort map. And for Norway, they just couldn't have a solid 6-man ult push there. They kept desyncing the ultimates, and we saw IPN so many times actually building up that Transcendence. He had Transcendence so consistently, so I feel like they tried to make a play every time he had it, but there just weren't other ultimates to use. And of course, on this map, you're attacking into this high ground scaffolding that's there on point B, and so difficult to get consistent picks with that long run back. They've got the high ground advantage, and we just saw resets over and over there on the side of Hong Kong. But this 6-man roster with these particular heroes is really what I want to see.
Yeah, and we'll see if they're going to stick to that one as we get ready to flip back in, as they will be moving over to the attack. But still very scrappy so far from both of these squads. This is kind of what we were expecting. Norway definitely showing their sloppiest play, I guess, so far.
Sure, and
compared to the first two maps.
It wasn't that sloppy, but it was definitely, as I said before, I feel like celebrating early, lack of cohesion with the ultimate usage, and they were much more aggressive, less conservative with their ult usage in that last point. But now we're going to see Mango switching over to the Reaper off of the Tracer, but the rest of the roster seems to be mostly the same, and I think this is how Hong Kong should be running this six-man team. Sure, the Tracer's gone, but the Reaper does grant a lot of value on this map, as we saw already in our first series.
Yeah, no signs of any more Widowmakers yet here for Horizon, but we're up onto this high ground so far. As we will see the jump coming through, Decod going forward, looking for somebody to zap, but doesn't want to go toe-to-toe with Mango. Does have to fear those shotgun blasts, so goes ahead, drops back down to keep himself alive as Norway tries to go ahead and get another full hold here for themselves. Already have the one on King's Rope. They can follow up with another one that would definitely turn around that performance from their attack. Some sloppiness there at the end, but for now, we'll be holding firmly. The cap starting to come through here for the side of Hong Kong. Will be halted right before that first tick and will fall. So a nice and very crucial opening pick coming through from the side of Norway. They'll get rid of Pandaren as well. And you have to expect that Hong Kong is likely going to be attempting to peel back and get themselves regrouped for this one. But Mango does go through, finds a couple kills, gets rid of that baby diva, but will fall in the end as Only God scoops that one up. So a nice little push forward here. Hong Kong now building up for these ultimates. They have several people that are very close, but still don't get that first tick, which was going to be, you know, a very nice takeaway from that stop the push.
They bought a lot of ult percentage, so the next push is going to be the scarier one. And Mango, of course, survived throughout all of that for so long. Imagine what he could do if he had peeling coming in from Hyper there and perhaps some support ultimates with him. The Death Blossom is going to be a big factor with this next push, so if he builds it first, Only God might pick him up before he gets there. Very close to the pickoff.
Yeah, nearly has this one. In the meantime, Deathadder going to go forward, has this nano boost on him, and he's just zapping away, finds the kill in onto Pandaren, follows up with one onto Moo, and Hyper will go down as well. So just like that, 5 members of Hong Kong will fall. Jazzy, the only one who almost made it out, will get booped in the end by Aiko. So the team kill completed. And we're now down to about 2 minutes here on the clock for Hong Kong. So like I said, yet again, Norway looking for that full hold here on Horizon. Have 4 ultimates ready to go. Envision will be able to build up for a pulse bomb very rapidly.
Yeah,
but it's to the 5 of Hong Kong at the moment.
Exactly. Hong Kong going to have 6 soon, too. The idea should be to try to bait out IPN's Transcendence, then try to use the Death Blossom. But they're always hunting down the Reaper here. Mango gets low again, does survive for the time being, but the coordination, you can really see it on Norway. Here we go. This is their opportunity. Sound barrier already used.
Yeah, it does get dropped in here. Hyper not going to be receiving that one. In the meantime, self-destruct will come through. Doesn't find any picks so far. Actually gets the one onto Envision. A bit of a poor placement there from the Tracer. Couldn't get himself out, and Moo with that Dragon Blade thrown out. Not going to find anything really for it. Does get cut down. He'll get zapped to death from the side of Decod as they leap in onto the point, trying to keep this one in contention. And you can see Hong Kong yet again. They pour everything into that assault, and it just gets stomped out. Norway do have to answer with a couple of their own ultimates. Primal Rage, for instance, there from Decod, but they very much come out on top of that.
Everything looked like it was going to be as it should have. When they baited out the Transcendence, I was hyped. I got excited. I thought maybe they're going to wait that out, play a little bit more defensively. But they threw everything into the Transcendence. Everything. The Death Blossom, the Dragon Blade. And IPN was just the hero floating in the sky. And now they have very few tools to retake. It's going to take a miracle here for them to take it now.
You can see that nano boost coming through here. Decod going to drop in, looking for another Primal Rage to get build up for it. There's on the bubble, trying to keep himself alive. Will go ahead and get the pop out onto Mix's mech, and he is going to fall right off the bat. Pandaren going down as well, as Norway yet again just cleans up house. Hyper's going to die for that extra painful stagger, and they'll go ahead and get Mango as well. So just solid defensive play coming through from Norway, playing as a unit, something that they lacked on that final point of attack.
Yeah,
and now Hong Kong, their backs are about as far up against the wall as they could possibly be. 15 seconds remaining with just a Death Blossom.
They're going to have the Death Blossom. If they can make the fight last longer, they might have Primal Rage and the Dragon Blade. Sound barrier is pretty much out of the question. Can Mango make a play here? That's going to be the big story.
Pulse Bomb has already gotten rid of Mix. Mango going for it, has the Death Blossom ready to go, but you can see that defense matrix there. The try to deny, does get Envision with it, but won't find anything else forced into the Wraith form with 32 HP remaining. Will get hounded down by Onigod. They'll just be coming around, trying to clean up onto the point, and Moo tries to draw out the Dragon Blade, will get killed in mid-cast. He goes down. That's the full hold in onto Horizon.
Yeah, and a pretty rare full hold on that first point on this map. First one usually taken very early on with a huge time bank. That's part of the reason why point A is so easy to take, right? So you have the time bank to work with point B, but Norway just showing that this 6-man roster works so well together. The coordination on ultimates, with the exception of a few of those on point B for the attack, way better, and IPN looks to be godlike, chasing down the tracers. And for Hong Kong, again, it just feels like this team doesn't have that much practice together as a unit.
Yeah, Decon just finding everybody in tight quarters and zap them all to death, pick up that play of the game. Nicely done by him.
Taking Hyper on the Winston, though, not the Tracer. Preferring to see Jazzy on the Ana, where he's had some incredible biotic grenades, both to deny healing, but to heal his team, getting kills several times with the Ana, even killing Envision that one time. So this is the comp I'd like to see coming out here for Hong Kong, and they are looking to have a kind of a hidden side flank defense.
I mean, they're
here.
playing up into the canyon, and nobody was spotting them out. No Sonic Arrow there available, but Norway seems like they're not too nonplussed by this one. Envision will fall as Mango picks up that kill with the Helix rockets, but they lose out immediately here on to Mix, and Moo has the dash back, already has that recall burned out, so works his way back around the corner to keep himself alive. So, like Hyper, will fall. Left out, and I think he actually left off the map by accident.
Yeah, and I think this is another, well, I think this is another one of the examples of, again, good preparation from Hong Kong. They showed why they picked the map. They had a strategy, they had an opening prepared. Unfortunately, again, Norway just kind of outclassed them when the attack hit. The execution wasn't as strong as the plan itself, but does give me hope that for the rest of this group, Hong Kong definitely has prepared a lot of strategies going into this one. And they're showing some of them here, but the idea at least is solid. Try to catch Norway off guard.
Well, Onigod right now having sole possession over the gas station will be knocked off of that one, as I do say. The leap board comes through, but he has the attack visor out. Defense matrix forward from Mix to go ahead and chew up the majority of that damage. Got a little bit out, but overall will be denied. In the meantime, still just going to be a bit of a scrappy 1-for-1 here exchanged. Onigod will get stuck, and he will go down. But still, the rest of his team is doing quite well to go ahead and try to maintain this push. Decon coming up that kill onto Jazzy, takes him down as the Transcendence comes through, keeping everybody else topped up on top of this payload as they try to just roll this into the station, get point A completed.
Yeah, it's going to be, it looks like a very quick capture here. They're going to go for one last contest.
Oh, the sound barrier
does come in, but it's matched.
Yeah, it does help keep them alive, at least for the moment here from the side of Hong Kong. Pulse Bomb out, does take out Hyper, so already one of the tanks going to go ahead and be nullified. Mix the only remaining one as they try to hold on to this. Payload pushing forward, just tagging in and out of contention at the moment, so Norway is still kind of inching this one along as Mix goes down, Pandaren falling as well, and that will just be the completion here on to A. So Norway, 4.5 minutes on the clock as they enter into the street space.
Someone get me a stat on how many Transcendence IPN has dropped in this series. Always has them at the right moments. His KDA incredible as well. How many picks he's been able to get on DPS is trying to flank him. Might even get into your head a little bit as a Tracer who keeps getting killed by the Zenyatta you are trying to flank. And the push continues here. A lot of ults used to get that checkpoint, but they're building them up quick again. Aiko already with the self-destruct.
It's just fantastic stuff coming through here from Norway. Everybody goes forward. They clean up multiple kills, getting rid of Jazzy, getting rid of Hyper, while the payload is getting ready to keep moving through the gateway. You have that bit of downtime, and they're coming up with those kills to just help stagger those respawns coming through from Hong Kong, keep them having to, play back around the corner, so they get so much free roam with this payload moving forward. Already going to be rounding the second to last corner. So a lot of time still on the clock for these guys, so it's just trucking along very smoothly. In the meantime, though, Attack Visor with a nano boost coming through here from Mango, firing away, but there's a defense matrix right in front of his face here from Aiko. Will be dropped in the end, so it does cut through that mech, but the self-destruct comes down. Will be zoning everybody back, and Aiko actually finishes off Hyper in the baby before.
His pilot mode gets the kill there.
So that's a bit of an embarrassing one there for Hyper. We won't talk about it anymore. Self-destruct answered out, not going to be finding anything, and Mix will die, and Norway just going to be looking to make record time here on Route 66 as they are right in front of point B already. 1.5 minutes, all that it took for the street space.
And when you look at how they've been able to do it, it's just unfortunate that they're never able to kill the back. They try to kill Onigod so many times and consistently fail. The protection coming out from Decon, from Aiko, it's so well done that when you see the flanks come in, that's when the DPSs die. Mango's dying when he's trying to get those flanks. Wu as well, using the attack visor. Mango drops it down, gets shut down by the Diva. Defensively, Norway just keeps this rolling.
I mean, Hyper just getting ripped apart here, and Vision just going to jump straight inside the bubble, trying to finish him off. Sleep Dart not going to connect there from Jazzy, throws out the Pulse Bomb, but it was Mix available with the defense matrix to eat that one up, so no big bang coming through from Envision. He does trade one out onto the Ana, does die, but in the meantime, Decon here with the Primal Rage is just scooping up the support members, throwing them into the trash, and Norway just keep that payload moving.
Not just a magnificent beard for this Winston main here, as he is just doing so much work in these fights. Oni looking up for another attack visor, calls it out in fact. In chat there, presses the Z key to let his teammates know. He's almost got another one ready. Nearly gets the solo kill into Mango, does get it here with Envision.
Yeah.
And this push is just rolling through. It's a train, it's a truck.
It really is, and now they're just looking for the finish here. IPN going forward with the Transcendence, chain straight into that sound barrier. They want to finish things off right here, right now. Attack visor out from Onigod, firing away, almost gets the kill in onto Pandarin, can't quite find it. Meantime, pulse bomb there from Moon, not going to come up with anything, but they are able to answer back several kills, and it seems like Norway will finally, for the first time, be halted. 3 minutes, 9 seconds remaining just in front of point C. They will get killed, they will get stopped, but they have so much time to work with. Ultimates pretty sparse across both these teams.
A lot of tools used here for Hong Kong, especially that attack visor for Mango, so that's going to be one that's missing. Onigod's been able to build it up so quickly, so consistently every time. Is actually looking for the 1v1 soldier v soldier across the map and has been winning that very, very well. They're showing good accuracy, good tracking here. They're looking to actually maybe drop him first as Decod's waiting for the call out, which target, as he kind of back pushes this. And it is going to be Mango's the target. Decod finds him immediately and he's totally zoned off.
Yeah, just zones him all the way back. Biotic grenade comes through, but he's not even concerned about that one as Mu is fallen. IPN gets traded out by Hyper, coming up with a kill, but the Primal Rage comes through, and Decod is just keeping everybody contained into that left side spawn, just wailing away at the doorway, keeping them zoned back. We'll be joining back in here onto the payload. Self-destruct thrown out here from the side of Mix. Doesn't come up with any picks. He will be able to get the remech coming through, but Mango has fallen yet again. The supports being targeted as Pandarin goes down. Sleep Dart in onto Decod. Can they finish him off is going to be the question. It seems like the answer is yes. Mu has finally come up with that one, but it's still just these sparse few kills coming through from Hong Kong as they desperately try to hold on.
Well, this could be the end of it here. We do see the sound barrier come up. Looks like this is going to be one of their last attempts. They do shove off. Aiko actually nearly with that mech to come back here with a self-destruct. Doesn't quite have it, actually, it looks like. So they're going to have to reset up for another push. But have a lot of tools when they come back, including that self-destruct. But Onigod did use the attack visor. And time is ticking down here. 90 seconds left. Hong Kong going to have that nano boost, going to have another pulse bomb here. So when the next attack comes through, and that's a staggered respawn now onto Decod.
It's a very big one, so very nicely done there by Mu to go ahead, hound him down. He wanted to kind of stick around, wait for the rest of his squad, but the Tracer chases in deep, finds the kill. And now Onigod's actually going to be swapping over to the Zarya, so we're going to have the triple tank coming through with the solo DPS here from Envision. So a bit interesting here, but like I said, this is one of those maps where you can kind of change things up. Onigod, if you can just find everybody clumped up into the choke, throws down a Graviton Surge once he has it available, could help them clean house with the likes of that self-destruct, go for that bigger bang.
And this could actually really empower Decod as well when he dives in. Envision, if he gets to a shaky spot up there, trying to go into the back lines, that's going to be the extra protection they have. Unfortunately, hasn't been able to build up much of that Graviton Surge yet, and with only 40 seconds on the clock, feels like a bit of an interesting swap here, as I'm not entirely sure if he'll ever be able to have it. It's going to take a long battle here with 30 seconds now left to actually gain that. Decod's looking to start it. They're going to dive in here onto the back lines. Transcendence is already popped for IPN.
Yeah, throw down, just trying to nullify this. Nano visor coming through, and Mango won't be able to pick up anything with it. In the meantime, sound barrier coming through here from Norway, and the first kill is going to be Pandarin going down, now chasing Jazzy all the way back into the spawn. IPN does fall off screen, but Mu dies right after he tosses that pulse bomb. Norway still coming up with the kills, rolling it into the station. Can this just be the completion? Can anybody tag it here from the side of Hong Kong? The answer is going to be no. Contained yet again into the corner by Decod, coming up with that primal rage.
I mean,
and that means that they do get the completion, but very, you have to say props, kudos to the side of Hong Kong for buying that much time off of what originally was a massive time bank for Norway.
Absolutely. But, Decod, I felt like he was the jailer of Hong Kong. He kept them in the spawn, whether it was left side or right side. Always was the first to come in. And with the extra shielding from the Zarya, that was really the main thing Zarya did for the majority of that early part with the pick there for Onigod. He was able to go deeper, go harder, and there just wasn't any production for the backline when we saw Decod fly in with that Winston without the Primal Rage, just doing a lot of extra damage, forcing those squishy members, usually the supports, into the backline. Containing Mango there on the soldier at the early part of that push so well. And when you watch Onigod versus Mango, who's able to find him a lot of the time, force him back, force him away. Then once he went back off to heal, get the supports, that's when we saw Decod comes in, pushes them back into the spawn. So really good synergy here on the side of Norway. But as you said, the time bank not as solid as they would have liked.
Yeah. So a very poor finish by comparison of that Kings Row. 5.8 seconds is all that Norway had, despite the pretty stompy streets phase that initial cap on point A. But does get drained out. The garage can be a bit difficult to break through. But now it's down to the defense here, which is something that Norway has been great at so far in these sets. The double full hold coming through from them on Horizon, on Kings Row. Can they do it for a third time now on Route 66?
That's the big question, and I guess it seems like the big question, but so far with how well they've played in this 4-game set, not a big question necessarily. Hong Kong, their backs against the wall here. They need the completion on this map. They've got a large opportunity if they have the run of their lives here to have a better time bank than 5.8 seconds. Hyper going to be switching back over the Winston. We didn't think we were going to be really seeing that Orisa, but it is going to actually be Wu on the Sombra, looking for the health pack approach here, hacking it to try to get EMPs to break this high ground. An interesting approach, not the most common, but we have seen it before.
He just takes a short hop back there, picks it up to keep himself topped off. Now throwing the translocator a bit deeper in. Will get the health pack inside the gas station. So, going to be very useful for his squad if they can move up to that point. Vision duking it out here with Mango, has to go ahead and abandon this.
And to have to use the recall, but gets the biotic grenade immediately. The health packs are going to be doubly useful if they actually get this push through very early, because it's going to be less for Norway to heal, more for them to heal as they round this corner.
I mean, they double 200s, which is pretty fantastic here for their side. But they need to get in a position where they can, go bounce back and forth and use either or. At the moment, Payload is moving up slowly and steadily. We see that EMP does get dropped down here by Mu. Still getting jumped on, picks up the health pack right at the last second to keep himself alive. Comes back with the translocator, he'll be fine. But in the meantime, Envision has the double pulse bomb coming through, fights both support members. And Norway will start cleaning up these kills, much like we've seen from them on the previous maps. They will finally halt Hong Kong. Was looking a bit good there for Mu specifically.
Yeah.
But the rest of the team just falls to the pressure of Norway.
And unfortunately, we're not going to have any other ults to pair with the EMP, at least initially. Sorry, they're going to have the ults, but not the EMP to pair with them for this next attack, unfortunately. Hyper, maybe the first of all, does finally get that Primal Rage here. He's going to drop it for survivability. Attack Visor comes down.
He's trying to clear things off the top of Big Earls. Will be successful in that endeavor, but the sound barrier comes through. Still a couple kills picked up here for the side of Hong Kong, but answered yet again by Onigod, who now has that attack visor ready to go, firing away, trying to get the kill in onto Pandaren. I can't quite find it. There's a Diva sticking to him like glue, ensuring that the defense matrix is there to mitigate so much of that damage that would otherwise be coming through. Now Mango getting left on, and Vision has to be forced out with a recall. Still rather low, kites back around. Keep himself alive. We'll be able to get that health back as it does respawn. But for now, it seems like a bit of a stalemate as Envision just pokes in, tries to build up for another pulse bomb, but Hong Kong still struggle to get back to this payload.
Yes, burning down that time bank now, as Envision is just so uncontested. The only person who's really given him a challenge has been Mango when he fights him 1v1, but when he finds anybody else, just no protection for the backline yet again. Last time it was, of course, Decod. This time it's Envision who's getting the kills. Mid-air, looking to pick off this Sombra.
Yeah, Boop's not going to be taking him down. They almost get Mu, doesn't quite get that kill, and he does have an EMP ready to go, but they need to be able to capitalize on it, because the first one, barely anybody was in position to try to get those kills with the EMP being dropped.
I'd like to see them wait for either the attack visor or at least the self-destruct before popping it, but they don't. They pop it down right away, trying to get Decod.
Yeah, they only get Decod with that one. They will be able to take him out, but is it going to be enough? See Aiko in the Baby Diva form trying to get back into the back. Perhaps as Envision is just wreaking havoc on the back line, jumping on top of Pandaren yet again. Now another attack visor is out here from Onigod. Leaping in, trying to find Jazzy, but the bubble is there to cut off the bullet spray. He will fall in the end as Envision goes forward with a Tracer, takes him out. And still it's going to be Norway maintaining control. Mix dying mid-air, but comes up with the double kill.
He got greedy there.
Worth it, you'd have to say. Onigod trying to finish him off before he got around the corner. Will get punished for that one.
He got the kill, but he didn't survive. Would have been more impressive had he gotten out of there, but still, you got to appreciate the accuracy. Either way, it's looking like Hong Kong's bringing the fire here. They're just going to look to close out this checkpoint. No one nearby. Decod does have that Primal Rage, but just doesn't look like he's nearby enough to go for the contest.
Well, Envision's going to be dropping in here. The EMP comes down immediately, so he can't get out of there. He's just going to fall. But the contention now coming through as Aiko rejoins in with the rest of the squad.
Well, they shouldn't have doubted Norway. They're going to try to contest this. They had such a great contest on Kings Row.
Well, it's still going to be a bit of a rough one, and the completion should be there. There we go. Rolls into the station right just about the last second. 2 minutes 30 on the clock.
But you can see what they wanted to do. Decod wasn't quite in position, but they wanted to have Envision by the time there to have Decod come on. And if Envision had survived, then suddenly it's Envision and Decod. The rest of the team has time to get over. But what you have to appreciate is Norway didn't use a single ultimate there. They waited, they gauged the situation, sending the delays in with the Tracer, then the Winston. And when they figured out very quickly, this just isn't going to work, they backed off. They saved their ults. And Aiko's now on the Genji, looking to build up that Dragon Blade. Everyone else pretty much topped off.
Yeah, Decod though does go down very early into that one as Move finds a double kill, takes out Envision as well. And the payload right now moving relatively unhindered from the side of Hong Kong. So in a good spot as Trouble, he's just gonna, you know, kind of mess up that wall ride. Doesn't make it onto the high ground, so has to take the long way around.
Styling a little bit there for the crowd, though. The crowd did give some oohs and ahs. He was highest upvoted there at the play of the game, last game. The results screen. Okay, Move nearly with that EMP, looking for it here in the back lines.
He's looking for the hack.
Yeah, he doesn't have it yet. Now he's got the EMP available.
Yeah, ready to go, but Decod does make it into that Primal Rage. Sound Barrier comes down here from Norway. They want to hold it right here. A minute 20 remaining on the clock, but Decod's still going to be the first one to go down. Now Transcendence out from the side of Jazzy to keep everybody topped off. And it seems like it's going to be working out relatively well here for the side of Hong Kong as they scoop up these kills. And Vision and Tro both going down. Pandarin does get answered for it, but with IPN, Aiko, and Onigod all going down, it's going to be a very delayed team kill. And should be the completion. Now Hong Kong kind of turning up the heat, putting their foot on the gas.
This is
are able to roll their way in. And 2 minutes 25 seconds with only 5 remaining for Norway is very doable to match.
Absolutely. This is the Hong Kong we've been waiting to see. Onigod switching back over to the Zarya here. Very powerful at this end point of course, Route 66. But the coordination, the patience on the EMP, going to pick off Decod first and find a way to capitalize there. The EMP was the cutoff of the retreat to stagger those respawns. So they're getting very, very dangerously close now to completing this with a better time bank. Just waiting for that second EMP. Envision picked off already, and this could be a huge opportunity.
Not a fantastic way to start things off at all, and Decod's going to go down as well. Mango starting to pop up here with the Soldier 76 trope going forward, trying to buy some time, but he is going to die, and it's just one after the other. Norway goes in, and they all get punished for it. Onigod falling has only accrued 24% on that Zarya ultimate, and you can see Decod actually feeling the pressure. Will be swapping over to the Reinhardt.
Yeah, swapping over here, wants to have some charges now. Moo just doing so much extra damage, even waiting here on the high ground of the platform to try to get some nice hacks off. Gonna go for Decod first, stops him with the shield there. Sick hack there. Ryan gonna be focused down now. He's taken out by Pandaren,
and he's just gonna fall.
EMP. EMP very close here. Mango uncontested.
Well, Aiko's going to draw out that Dragon Blade, looking for a couple picks, finds one onto Mango, but everybody just turns around, sees the Genji, and they come out, and now it's just 2.46 meters right in front of the point. Nano Boost used it onto Onigod, but he's got no HP left. He's going to get finished off, and now Transcendence down onto the point as Decod rejoins desperately, trying to keep this in contention, but he's got that Discord orb, so has to be careful. Swinging away wildly with the hammer, will lose IPN off screen, and Vision yet again going down, and the Sound Barrier comes through through here from Hong Kong, as they try to finish this one out. Trove falling yet again, and it seems like they might have just done it. 0.05 meters. There you go. They got it in the end, and Hong Kong finally show up in this series.
That's right. They are showing up. They're Shows of Fire showing life in this series. It's not over yet. Until that fourth game ends, it is not over. Now they've got the better time bank. 1:39 to the 1 minute left. Now on the side of Norway. And it was good coordination we're finally seeing. And it seems to be the missing link was the Sombra play. The EMPs, the hacks, the positioning. Stopping Decod in his tracks there behind. Getting those Reinhardt shields down. Onigod going all in on the Zarya twice. Second time, he was at the very end there with the Graviton Surge available only at the end. And unfortunately, weren't able to use it. He wasn't able to use it there onto the point because there was no one else with him. And finally, Norway has shut down. Finally, Norway not able to use their time-buying tactics there. We saw them try to stop that checkpoint. They were patient there, but Hong Kong looks to be really good with the Sombra. And so far, with what we're seeing already going into this overtime round, they are going to keep it. So very happy with this so far. And Mango as well, stepping it up. They're targeting down Decod in these fights. And when he's down, that's when Mango shines.
I mean, the most important thing there from Hong Kong was that they actually showed Norway can be flustered. They seemed like they didn't know what to do, having the swap over onto the Zarya from Onigod. Decod moving off the Winston, which he has been crushing with so far, forced onto the Reinhardt, and it just falls apart for them. So a bit of desperation, and you know, weakness shown there from Norway for, pretty much the first time. There has been that scrappiness, that sloppiness aspect to it, but that was where it seemed like they just didn't know what to do to come up with a victory, and they don't have that hold. But now back over onto the attack here with 42 seconds remaining. Norway going to be looking to create as much distance as humanly possible with this payload, and Vision looking forward doesn't, can't get that health pack. It is hacked out, so has to just get that Orb of Harmony to keep himself topped off.
Yeah, it's so important with so little time to work with here. The health pack's just not going to be available for Norway. And Mu unable to find the pick there, but it will be Hyper that takes Envision out in the end, so Tracer already gone.
I mean, the payload's being contested right now, and it's 15 seconds remaining. Norway have not moved this up very much. And Hong Kong look to be in a very strong position at the moment. Decod forced back, has to leap his way out to safety.
Oh, Aiko's going to go down here too.
They're going to go ahead. They're going to get rid of Aiko right at the crucial moment as they get ready to go into overtime. EMP dropping as well from the side of Mu, and they are just looking to end this right here. Overtime ticking through as they try to keep this one in contention. Norway will just get torn apart. It's all down to Envision. Gets the recall off the dash back in. He's going to die. Can they tag it in time is going to be the question. I don't think they can. Hong Kong holding right around the first corner, and Norway feeling the heat for the first time in this series.
Oh, for sure. And when you don't have that much time to work with, health packs are hacked. That hurts the play of aggressive players like Decod, players like Envision. They're looking to go in for the flanks. They go in, no health packs to take when they're looking around for those health, especially Envision, right? The hacks are coming in, reducing their mobility, but it was really just Mango, actually, who did the majority of the damage in that fight. And it was the Winston and the D.Va that was pushed away that allowed him just to do free damage. Every time the camera was on the first-person view of Mango, he was just blowing people up left and right. And it's very panicky. It's very frustrating when you're Norway in this situation where you don't have a large time bank to work with. But they can still very well pull out the hold here. It's not over till it's over.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things we do have to consider, especially with these first matches from these teams, they are so very important wanting to get these maps, but one of the things you have to consider is perhaps, the land jitters that come through. It's the first time that a lot of these teams have ever played together on a stage. Obviously, you have the likes of Rogue, who has been a unit for a while, had their, entire land debut in Apex Season 3 with Nico being put onto the roster. But, for Hong Kong, coming out here, still a lot of pressure. You want to impress, you want to find those victories for your home country, so that's a lot of pressure that you kind of have to break through, and it seems like they finally are doing it here in Game 4.
And the crowd is with them in this Game 4. They're with the underdog. We'll see if they can close this one out now. A short distance to push, a minute and a half on the clock. See if Mango can repeat that performance. It's going to be about the defense of the tanks. Moose sticking with the Sombra, the comfort pick here. Been looking so good on Route 66.
I mean, yet again, he's got great access on that health pack, 200 HP there in the candy to keep everybody topped off if they have to peel back. Hong Kong trying to move things up here at the start, rounding that first corner slowly yet surely. As Norway tries to keep this one in contention. Decod going forward, gets chunked out, has to kite back with the rest of his squad, but Mango is still just going to go ahead and cut him down, just firing away into the ranks of Norway. Finds that kill onto the tank, but they will lose that onto Jazzy. So Hong Kong just kiting back for a moment, keeping themselves safe,
so close.
Not looking to lose anybody else, waiting for that respawn on the very slow Zenyatta as he looks to rejoin the squad.
The EMP could be all they need to make this happen. They're holding on to it now. It could be their way in. Here it comes.
They drop this one down. Mango going to be pushing forward. Nearly has attack visor available, but doesn't have it to couple up with it yet. Aiko going to be knocked out of the mech as Decod goes forward yet again. Will be getting targeted out. Aiko still hasn't fallen, but now the pulse bomb comes through and Jazzy's going to get taken out as Envision finds the kill. Self-destruct will be thrown into the backside, looking for something.
Oh,
With double kill! Mix just taking down IP and OmniGod falling as well, and I think Hong Kong might just have done it. They are ripping it through Norway, looking to complete this push. Envision doing his damnedest to stop that from happening, but he will go down in the end.
That's gonna be it.
Hong Kong, in the end, in Game 4, are able to pick up a win, will not go down.